Fans making their way inside. You get a nice gift today, a Larry Walker bobblehead. And Larry, kind of nodding just like that, will be in the house this afternoon. He'll be on with us in the third inning, in fact. Welcome inside Coors Field once again. The Rockies looking for the sweep of the San Francisco Giants, coming off a 2-1 thrilling victory in the ninth inning yesterday. And welcome upstairs, everybody. Glad as always that you're along with my partner, George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Nolan Arenado, a game winner in the ninth inning yesterday. And today we begin talking pitching. The Rockies made a roster move. Drew Pomeranz will start today for the first time in 2013. Rob Scahill was returned to Colorado Springs.
Well, you can see what Pomeranz has done. 8-1, 420 overall. The strikeout second in the PCL right now. Rob Scahill, quite honestly, pitched well here. 13 ball games with the Rockies, and he'll take it back to the Colorado Springs and continue the hard work that he's done here. But with Pomeranz and where he has gone, it's a changed man. I mean, it's a guy now that's throwing 4 pitches for command. He's added the changeup. The slider is more consistent now. And I think, too, quite honestly, when you're a #1 pick, you're a big part of a trade. A lot of times you take things for granted. And I think when he went back down to AAA, he went to work and worked to get back here and be a very efficient guy, and that's what he's accomplished.
Well, Drew Pomeranz is ready to go, making his 2013 debut against the Giants today.
I think it was being more consistent with 3 pitches out there and being a little more efficient. And I think I worked on a lot of those things, and I feel pretty comfortable with them right now.
And that honestly was the big thing, because Drew Pomeranz early in the year, I think at one point was 6-0, and people were wondering, well, why is he not in the big leagues? The Rockies wanted to see him work deeper into games, George.
Well, not deeper into ball games. The one key, too, to his success, you can see pounding of the strike zone with the fastball and the cutter and the changeup, and his ability to throw the ball where he wanted to. They wanted to see not 97 pitches in 5 innings. They wanted to see 97 pitches in 7 innings. They wanted to see him go deeper into the ball games. And I think once he grasped that thought process, he realized, I got to go do this if I'm going to get a chance back in the big leagues. And I think when you see other guys being signed, Roy Oswalt brought to the big leagues, you know, Chatwood's throwing well, comes to the big leagues. I should be that guy. So how do I become that guy? Well, I become that guy by going out and putting up the numbers they're looking for, and he's done that.
Well, you know he's excited to take the baseball today. When we come back, we'll talk about the Wild West, and it is exactly that. Last night or late yesterday afternoon in a 1-1 game, the Rockies got Josh Rutledge after a stolen base to second, and Nolan Arenado delivered him. Walk-off winner, 2-1 for the Rockies. Second time this month that the rookie has had a walk-off base hit. So here are the National League West standings. The Rockies just 2 behind Arizona beginning play today. The Padres 3 back, the Giants 4 back, and everybody beating up on the LA Dodgers. But you know what? They're just 5 back, George.
Well, they are, and they're getting healthy right now. The Padres playing very good baseball. The Giants have started to scuffle a little bit. Arizona's coming back to the pack, and it is a wide open division right now. The Rockies, 14 of the next 14, you're going to play within the division, and they've done a great job of that. 23-15 right now. They've handled the Dodgers, who will be in here Tuesday, but a different ball club. Not the same club you've been beating up on. You're going to have to tune it up. The point of this whole graphic, what we're showing you at home now, they've played well in the National League West. You're in the middle of July. You can make a monster statement right now with what you have to finish these 4 games at home and then 10 out on the road against your division rivals, and really make a statement and widen the gap. You could take off and walk into this thing and come back out of these 14 ball games. If you play very good baseball, consistent pitching like they've gotten, you could come back leading the National League West.
Yeah, well, when you play within the division, it counts that much more, especially as tight as it is. Wild, 5 games separating 1st and 5th right now in the NL West. The Rockies looking for the sweep of the Giants. Colorado, San Francisco. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your 7 neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. By Frostbrewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Comcast, advertise your business locally on the network's People Watch. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com for details. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. This just moments ago. And appropriate that he would throw his first pitch to an old friend, Vinny Castilla. 2 distinguished members of the first 20 years of Rockies baseball, the Blake Street Bombers. Walker will be up with us in the 3rd inning, Larry's bobblehead day. And making his way to the mound, Drew Pomerantz. And the first man he'll face is Andres Torres, who had 3 hits yesterday. Take a look at Bruce Bochy's lineup. The Giants have lost 6 in a row. And His lineup will feature Tony Abreu, switch hitting second baseman, in there for Marco Scudero getting the day off. Buster Posey getting the day off from catching. He'll be at first base. Hunter Pencil bat next, and Pablo Sandoval. He's been scuffling. Juan Perez, Guillermo Quiros, Brandon Crawford, Madison Bumgarner. And the first pitch of the game for Pomeranz misses, ball one. Just 7 hits for the Giants yesterday, and the guy at the plate, as I said, had 3 of them. And that pitch inside, and it's 2-0. Jim Reynolds is calling balls and strikes. John Hirschbeck, James Hoy, and Bob Davidson, the crew. And that's outside 3-0. There's got to be an elevated amount of nerves, you would think, for Pomeranz this time around, George.
No question there is. I mean, he's 8-1. He's done everything he needed to do down in AAA. So now you come up here. The difference you're going to face early in this game, they're going to be patient. This is the big leagues. They're not going to come out hacking. And I watched a lot of the AAA games of late, and you see those guys down there swinging on an awful lot of pitches. Able to come back from a 3-0 count, get a fly ball to left. A good sign for Drew Pomeranz.
And a lot of times, George, I would think from a pitching standpoint, it settles you in. Okay, now I'm in the game. I got the first guy out rather than this immediate traffic.
Well, a lot of stuff going on today. Larry Walker bobblehead day. It's a huge day. A big crowd at the ballpark. San Francisco Giants. It's a day game, Sunday afternoon. A lot of things run through your head here, but I think in just talking with Drew the last couple of days, a little much more level-headed, confident in a good way.
Tony Abreu takes a ball. Well, any athlete, any competitor wants to prove something, and last year 2-9, very celebrated prospect. This ball's well hit to right. Kadire going back, still going back, and it's off the base of the wall. It'll be a double for Abreu. The ball just kept carrying.
Well, look at the wind right now. You've got a little bit of a funnel into that right field. The ball always carries into the bullpen area of the Rockies. One more look at this pitch from Drew Pomeranz. The fastball that was down. Very good low ball hitter, though, in a center cut of the ballpark. Kadire thought he had it in grasp a couple of times, just carried over the head.
And here's the Rocky killer. He's pretty good against everybody, but in particular against Colorado. Buster Posey has reached in 47 straight games against the Rockies. And he takes a strike. He's 2 for 2 against Pomeranz, including a home run. In the first game, George, that he ever played against the Rockies, he went 0 for 3. Since then, 47 in a row.
And this ball club, when scoring first, 24-12. When they don't, 14-30. In the month of June, it's been a little bit of a struggle. 9-17 after going 15-12 in April, 14-13 in May.
And if you remember early in the season, the Giants were scoring runs. Their pitching, their starting pitching in particular, wasn't great, which was a huge surprise, but they were scoring a lot of runs. In the month of June, they scored the fewest runs per game in the big leagues.
Worst record in baseball since May 28th. Amazing. And the reason I say that, the starting pitching that they put out every day.
Here's the 0-2. That's fouled back at 92. That's the hardest fastball we've seen in the early going from Pomeranz. The Giants are 0 for their last 14 with runners in scoring position. 8 for 58, covering 9 ball games. Rockies understand that on that road trip, which they went 2-7. They didn't get many hits and with runners in scoring position. Posey's so balanced at the plate, it's hard to get him to chase.
Yesterday, in one at bat early in the ball game against De La Rosa, he was able to strike Posey out in the first at bat with a runner at third, and he did it with a split finger. One of the very few times, to what Drew's talking about, that I saw him off balance with a swing. De La Rosa yesterday, the first 18 split fingers he threw, 17 for strikes. Yeah, talking about that was a great pitch yesterday to Buster Posey.
De La Rosa chatted with him briefly this morning. Said the thumb feels a little better. 1 run in 6 innings. He continues to pitch outstanding baseball. 1 out, 1 and 2 on Posey. Curveball. And he fouls this one off.
Well, you look at it last year. I want to show you what he threw a year ago. Fastball, curveball, changeup. And it was mostly fastballs because he was hunting the strike zone so much. Now it's a 4-pitch mix with that slider / cutter. And a lot more usage of the changeup. That's been a difference maker for him. And you know, the fastball is plenty nasty. It's 90-93 typically with some movement, either cut or sink.
Guys typically, George, don't pick up his fastball real well.
Well, it comes right out of a short arm action. He stays very good on his body line. So in other words, the ball never comes around behind him. And then when he gets on top of it and utilizes that downward plane, it gets on you in a hurry.
Two to Posey.
Good block. 2 of them on the breaking ball by Rosario.
I wouldn't be surprised here, George, if he went off speed again. We'll see what kind of confidence he has in his off speed deliveries. And that if you walk Posey, I know it's the first inning, you do set up a force all around.
But the way the rest of their club's hitting, you don't worry. You know, you lose Posey, you lose him. It's not that big a deal. Set up a double play.
With a little pick play on, DJ LeMahieu comes in.
And break up the rhythm of the game a little bit. Do something different for Pomeranz.
Posey, since Tuesday, is 9 for 15 at the plate. The rest of the club is 18 for 117. To your point about let somebody else beat you. (3-2) and overthrew a fastball. So he walks Posey after being ahead 0-2. First and second, 1 out, and that'll bring up Hunter Pence. Rockies defense is brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Tyler Colvin for Dexter Fowler, who is improving. Center field, Kadire and Gonzalez, along with Arenado, Rutledge, LeMahieu, and Pacheco in the infield, with Willeen Rosario doing the catching. Pence 0 for his last 10 at the plate. He runs well, and it's a curveball that misses. That was a 9-pitch at bat, by the way, by Buster Posey. And now he's reached in 48 straight games against the Rockies.
And what I'd like to see from Pomeranz right now is it's not the 9th inning of a 1-run game. You know what? You give up a run on a base hit challenge and get out of the hitter's counts.
Posey's one of the more Pence is one of the more aggressive hitters in the game, and even Pence was taking there. So it's 1-1. Pretty easy to see the game plan early on from San Francisco. As George mentioned, they're going to be patient, they're going to make Pomeranz prove he can throw strikes consistently.
And remember, their Fresno team, their AAA team, obviously is a division that is played an awful lot by Colorado Springs. You know, they've got pretty good scouting reports on Pomeranz.
One and 2 on Hunter Pence. Next pitch will be number 20 of this first inning. Pence hitting .342 against lefties this year. That's among the top 10 in the National League. Ground ball foul. He got that in the kitchen, didn't he?
It's got to be some kind of strong bat.
I was going to say, how did that not break?
Well, he chokes up. He uses an extremely thick bat. And by using that thick bat, you'll see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo right now, that see that ball's going to get in well underneath the label, but there's a lot of give on that bat too. But that's a big, strong guy swinging a bat with a thick handle and thick barrel.
Where that ball contacted the bat at 91, how did it not break? This is a comebacker. Pomerantz, good feed on to first, not going to double up Pence. So it's first and third with 2 outs.
Because of the way the ball was hit, it's going to be difficult with Pence running to turn a double play ball, because it's a soft tapper out. Pomerantz had to come get the ball. He gives a perfect feed. You want to make sure you get that 1 out and then on to first base. And for Josh Rutledge, he had to stay to the backside because Posey was bearing down on him. So you're going to have less of a leverage throwing the baseball.
I was impressed with Pomerantz's feed. How often do we see pitchers rush and throw the ball into center field?
Just happy you did. Happy you kept it right where it is.
Struggling Kung Fu Panda at the plate. He is 0 for his last 16. And good looking pitch at the bottom of the zone. It's 0-1.
Dealing with a foot injury. He can't put an awful lot of pressure on that left side, and so when he starts to stride, particularly from the right-handed batter's box, a little more difficult for him to keep his balance.
Two-strike count on Sandoval.
Yesterday it was De La Rosa had some problems in that first inning when he had given up the single. He had runners on third base and 1 out. He was able to strike out Posey and get Pence on a weak ground ball to third. Pomerantz has that ability right now on an 0-2 count to try to shut this inning down. He's taken 23 pitches so far.
And he got it. So Pomerantz strikes out Sandoval. 2 men left on. And we'll see the Rockies on offense. Sunday afternoon at the ballpark. Big crowd at Coors Field. Larry Walker bobblehead day. And we'll go to the bottom of the first inning. DJ LeMahieu, who swung the bat very well for the Rockies, will lead things off. And he'll be followed by Jordan Pacheco. Cargo's going to bat third. He has great numbers against Madison Bumgarner. Then Michael Kadire, as hot as anybody in the game, batting .346. He's hitting 26 straight. Willeen Rosario, Nolan Arenado, Tyler Colvin will bat 7. Josh Rutledge, who scored the game-winning run yesterday, running for Helton, and Drew Pomerantz. And the left-hander has been the steadiest starter this year for the Giants.
And a very effective starter, 7-5, 104 innings thrown so far for Madison Bumgarner. Only 74 hits given up, 102 strikeouts, and just 30 walks. So you've got a tough customer on the mound. He's utilizing a changeup a lot more than he has in the past. to go along with a pretty good fastball. 88 to 93 miles an hour. That touched 92.
Just tough to pick up, George, isn't he?
He'll cut the fastball, you bet. He'll cut the fastball in on your hands. Typically does not repeat the same spot. Bochy was putting Posey was at first yesterday, back over there again today, trying to give his legs a break.
Rockies really got after Bumgarner last time they saw him on May 17th. In 4 2/3, he gave up 9 runs, 7 earned on 8 hits.
Well, probably, and I think it was. I read early this morning, worst start in his history with the Giant uniform.
Last 3 outings have been very good. He's given up just 4 earned runs in his last 21 innings, covering 3 ball games. The league's hitting just .199 against him. And a walk to LeMahieu. So DJ jogs to first. Keep in mind, this is a different DJ LeMahieu than you saw a year ago, where he was, good athlete out there, but you wouldn't think of him as a running threat. He's 10 of 11 swiping bases.
Right, 10 of 11, very smart base running, picking his spot to do it, good counts to do it, and he's taken advantage of that.
And Bumgarner has improved in this area, but among lefties last year, no lefty gave up more stolen bases than Bumgarner, 27 of them. Well, there's some history between Jordan Pacheco and Madison Bumgarner. It goes back to that May date we were alluding to. He came up with the bases loaded, and he jumped on an inside fastball. His only home run of the year, a grand slam.
The young catcher behind the plate, Quiros, who's a guy that can really throw it. 4 out of 6 that he has thrown out would be base stealers. He's taken over that backup role ahead of Sanchez, who's also on the ball club. See Bruce Bochy giving the running game signals, not game calling signals. Pitch out, non-pitch out, throw to first, those type of things.
And that's from a left-handed perspective, George. That move you just saw there was very ordinary.
Very ordinary, but the thing is if you could get a runner like that, it can become ordinary, becomes really good if he tries to move on first movement. DJ tried that against the Mets, going on first movement, got picked off. And I think as good as Madison was as a young player in the minor leagues, he no-hit the Asheville ball club in the playoffs. I remember that happening 4 or 5 years ago. There wasn't many guys on first. It wasn't a part of the game he worked on.
Right. That's how he got here so quickly.
Yeah.
Outside, and it's 2-1 on Pacheco. Gonzalez is on deck.
But Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, was a guy that didn't have a great move either until later on in his career when he became a closer. He's now the pitching coach of the Giants. Righetti liked to use the step back. Here's Dave right here. He'd use the step back move where he'd step off the backside of the rubber and flip it really quickly underhanded, and had a really good one doing it.
Runner going, and another stolen base for DJ. Crawford was late covering. And that is bag number 11 for LeMahieu.
Watch this ball here as it comes out of the hand of Quiros. Now watch. See right here at the very end. Look at the tail and sink on it. Crawford was late getting there, but it also had the ball that far over from second base, so now he's got to extend even farther to get it. He got it in the end of the webbing of the ball glove, and it just popped out.
Quite frankly, if he's there on time, DJ's out.
One more look at it. Watch as he gets out on it down the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. That ball hits, but with all the momentum when he started to squeeze, just shot right out of the glove, but well ahead. I mean 6 to 8 feet ahead of DJ, even sliding into second. Take the break where you can. Now try to capitalize on it with nobody out.
Cutters in. The difficult pitches to handle with Madison Bumgarner, and Pacheco getting a steady diet of it. Jordan trying to stay inside the baseball and work it to the right side.
As much as you would like to drive the run in now, you would like to take advantage of the hole and advance the runner to third with Gonzalez in the on-deck circle and his wonderful history against Bumgarner. You can see this whole right side right here opened up, so you can just try to drive the ball anywhere out here on the ground. You're going to advance the runner, possibly score him on a base hit.
Three and two.
Let's take a look at what Bumgarner throws and tries to challenge these hitters with. The fastball has dropped usage-wise quite dramatically to 39%. He's utilizing that slider changeup a lot more than an occasional curveball, but not very often. It's going to be basically a three-pitch mix. That slider turns into a cutter.
Back up the middle, and Crawford is not going to be able to throw out Pacheco, but he saves a run by keeping it in the infield. And Pacheco with an infield single, and it is first and third, nobody out for Cargo.
When this ball hit the mound, that kicked it back towards Crawford, or I don't think he has a shot at it either way. Right here, watch that ball hit the front of the mound, moved it to Crawford's side to where he could get to the baseball, but the pirouette throw just not anywhere on line to be able to get Jordan Pacheco, who was flying up that line trying to beat this throw, and he did. LeMahieu watching where the ball's hit, looking over the backside of the shoulder. Now he's going to watch to see if it happened to get by Posey at first.
Here's Cargo. 0 for 4 yesterday against Matt Cain. Cain was brilliant. He was on that pitch. Maybe facing a guy left on left will be the way to get Cargo going again.
10 for 27, 3 home runs, 6 RBIs. A guy that he likes facing left on left.
Nobody out, first and third, bottom of inning number 1. Rocky's trying to get a quick break on Bumgarner. And those are 2 pitches he'd like to have back. Talking about Gonzalez, those are pitches he wants to put in play. Today's defense is brought to you by Excel Energy. Make the choices that fit your life, and Excel will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Juan Perez can throw. He's in center field for Pagano as a hamstring injury. And you see the infield. Brandon Crawford, a very good defender. So now you're in a slider count. 1 and 2. This is where Cargo, and he's such a brilliant player, George. He's one of the, as we know, he's one of the best talents in baseball. But he doesn't really have a 2-strike approach. I mean, he's going to fire 2 strikes as he does if it's 2-0.
Such a smart hitter that in this type of situation, he's thinking base hit, but also he knows if he hits a deep fly ball, it's 1-0 Rockies.
I'm going to come in with the heater. He held up. Checked it out with Bob Davidson at third. Strikes out Gonzalez. Well, Michael Kadire with his 26-game hitting streak will try to pick him up. What does a 26-game hitting streak look like?
I want to hear it all again. Come on. How nice was that?
Well, I'll tell you what, he usually gets the drama over with quickly. He has 15 first at bat hits during this 26-game ride.
What Kadire is a very good student of the game. And when he's in that on-deck circle, even though a left-hander's up, he's watching how LeMahieu and Pacheco were pitched. Is it first pitch fastball? Is it cutter? Is it changeup? What's the history been with he and Bumgarner? So, you know, when he prepared, he got a fastball cutter in, and he turned it loose pretty quick.
You have to cash in at least one here. It becomes a huge at bat for Kadire.
Just like San Francisco couldn't cash in against Pomeranz, it's a deal where the Rockies would love to cash in here.
Now, first and third, no outs. And now first and third, 1 out. And now it's an upside down count, 1-2 on Michael. George, you know from a pitching perspective, going back to Cargo's at bat, he had 2 very hittable fastballs and he fouled them straight back. Well, against quality pitchers, that's all you're going to get typically. You're not going to get another fat one.
Well, no, you're lucky to get 2. You know, you might get 1 in that at bat, but you're not going to, you know, a lot of guys are going to take it off the edge on you.
So important now for Pacheco on a ground ball to get into the middle infielder, and you know Kadire is going to bust it up the line. Mayhew at third, Pacheco at first. No score, bottom of 1. 2-2. And now it'll be left to Willeen Rosario.
With a lot of pitchers, too, after getting 2 huge outs, as he did on Gonzalez and Kadire, sometimes you drop your guard a little bit. Bumgarner's not one of those guys. You're going to have to be prepared to attack him. Pick up your teammates.
Willeen Rosario 5 for 16 against Bumgarner. And Willeen is really swinging the bat well. Right man at the right time. A 6-game hitting streak, 11 for his last 24 at the plate, including a couple of home runs. This hot streak, he's brought his average up in the month of June, which today is the final day, to 304.
Now scoring first, the Rockies record 18-8 at home. Great. Let's score first, build on that 18-8, huh?
Outside, 2-1. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go the following day to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations. Do it between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special. Mayhew walked, stole second, moved to third on an infield hit by Pacheco. 2 outs after the strikeouts by Gonzalez and Kadire.
Fastball in, cutter.
And it's hit hard to right at Crawford, and the Rockies waste a wonderful opportunity. First and third, nobody out. They do not score. score between the Rockies and Giants. Today's sideline report is brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company. Secrets in the fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood.
It's the 20th season of Rockies baseball, and it's Larry Walker bobblehead day today. Number 33 is here. We thought we'd ask the manager about his former teammate.
One of the best players I've seen to this day in this game. Got to play with him for, I think, 4 years, and played against him a bunch. It'd be good to see him again. You know, he was a good teammate and a great player.
He threw out the first pitch to Vinny Castilla, and lest you forget about his career, let's show you some of his numbers. You remember that 97 season when he was the MVP in the National League? I talked to him today, and he said, I remember 95 because that was a team thing, and we got to the playoffs. 334 career average as a Rocky. That still stands as tops in the franchise. He hit 384 here at Coors Field. And Drew and George, he's going to join you guys in the booth in the third inning. That'll be special. Ask him about driving from Evergreen, his house he still owns, to the park today.
All right, Mark, thank you. We will do that. Drew Pomerantz gets first pitch over to Juan Perez. Again, he's playing center field in the absence of Angel Pagan.
Big loss for them, too.
Huge loss.
Perez had worked at third base predominantly at the minor league level. Played a little third when Sandoval was hurt. But now being asked to go to center field. Very talented player.
Bruce Bochy hadn't been in a very good mood lately.
Grumpy, grumpy, grumpy. Went in this morning. Boch, how you doing? What do you want? Not just kidding. He was actually fairly friendly this morning, but after yesterday's game, he was very upset. His ball club not swinging the bat well at all.
Second strikeout for Pomerantz. He got Sandoval with runners at first and third to close the first inning. And now Guillermo Quiroz, the catcher for San Francisco. He's hitting just $174. Giants have been miserable out on the road, Frazier. 14-27. They've lost 7 roadies in a row. The last time they lost 8 road games in a row, it was the year 2000.
Boat's tried everything he can, try to get this club turned around, but you can see a lowest win percentage on the road right behind the Marlins. Not a club you want to be talked about if you're trying to win. I mean, the Marlins struggling right now.
Arenado throws out Quiroz, 2 gone.
The last 42 games, 15-27.
Well, involve yourself in the 5th inning with Toyota Talk. Text the word Toyota followed by your question to 720-720.
Nice day to get a tan at the yard, watch a little baseball, have your favorite beverage, get a little lemonade and a hot dog, enjoy your day. Why not?
Crawford tardy with that swing. It's 0-1. Today's the halfway mark for the Giants. It's game number 81. The Rockies passed the halfway mark a couple days ago. And the Rockies are 41-41. Game number 83 for Colorado. Here's the 0-1, and that just missed. Fans here, come on, Blue. Give Pomerantz that pitch.
That was Mom and Dad.
Oh, is that who that was?
Yeah.
One of the things
they're allowed to do that.
Yeah, one of the things, George, I'm going to look at today, and I'm sure you will as well, how many breaking balls he throws for a strike. Because we'd always heard he had a great breaking pitch. He didn't throw it for strikes much last year.
Well, that's why he threw his fastball 79% of the time, and that's changed now. It had at the minor league level. He's having that same confidence when you come up here to throw the same thing. After a swing and miss by Crawford, 3 straight balls.
And that's a bad walk right there. You have 2 outs, nobody on. A guy who's been struggling at the plate, left on left, and Brandon Crawford. And now Bruce Bochy, he didn't care what happens this inning. He knows he's clearing Bumgarner out of the way.
And you got to be careful with Bumgarner, a guy that can swing the bat a little bit. He's hit a home run and done it against the Rockies. You got to be careful. You just can't sit here and think you're going to throw an 88, 89 mile an hour fastball down the middle to get ahead of him. You can't do it.
But you lose the luxury if you get Crawford starting the next inning.
See, this
what you hope to be is an easy out.
4 straight balls here. For me, I would love to see Wayne call time and go to the mound right now. Just to change up the pace.
And Bumgarner with a base hit, center field, as you said. Now the Giants with 2 outs will have Torres at the plate.
89 mile an hour fastball. And you get into that situation, that's a tough thing. Hey, get your tickets now for the Rockies Dodgers. They're playing Tuesday through Thursday. Be sure to catch the fireworks games on the 3rd and 4th. But the Dodgers coming to town. It's a different ball club, folks. They've got some pretty good players on that club right now. Hanley Ramirez has come back from injury.
Well, you'll see Yasiel Puig.
Puig's the other. Just
one of the big stories in the
phenomenal player. He just. I asked some Giants guys that just saw him, Kruko and Kuiper. He says like a man among boys. He's a terrific player.
Torres hit a fly ball to left field his first time up, and that curveball's in there for a strike. Torres taking over the top spot in the lineup in the absence of Pagan. Pretty nice out right now. It was family picture day today for the players. No batting practice, and about an hour before the game, it looked like it was going to storm. And he got it. So Pomeranz strikes out Torres with 2 aboard. And we'll go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. No score at Coors Field. 3 punch outs for Drew Pomeranz. Things off, then Tyler Colvin and Josh Rutledge to face Madison Bumgarner yesterday. As we look at our cold hard fact, Nolan Arenado, the game-winning single, the 2nd walk-off of the month. He had one on June the 7th against the Padres. No other rookie has more than 1 this year. The last with 2 in the same month. Eugenio Velez of the Giants back in September of 2008. It came back-to-back days. Arenado, and chatting with them today, I think all all the great players, he's got a ways to go before you can call a young player great, but he's got great talent. They want to be up in those situations. He goes, yeah, he said absolutely.
I can't tell you the number of times I watched in the Cal League when he had 122 RBIs that he came up in the 8th and 9th inning and scalded a baseball to put that Modesto Nut team on top.
Pops this one up. Posey battling the sun, makes the catch. Bring up Colvin.
He busted out of that slump Friday night with a couple of singles right back up the middle. Swung the bat well off yesterday as Corey Dickerson got to start against Matt Cain. Came on late in the ball game to pinch hit.
And Dickerson had a double in the first inning against Cain, and he was brought home by Michael Kadire. It's the only run the Rockies would get against Cain. They scored at the bottom of the ninth. Colvin actually swung it decent against Bumgarner in limited activity, 2 for 6, including a triple. And obviously, if Fowler's healthy, Colvin wouldn't be in the lineup today. Rockies have a limited number of options as to who could play center field. Dickerson did it the other day, but it's really unfair to ask a kid to come out new to the big leagues and go play out there, as you like to say, George, the Ponderosa.
Yeah, Thursday and Saturday he had starts in center field. And he handled the position fine, but still a lot of land to cover.
2 outs as Tony Abreu throws out Colvin. That'll bring up Josh Rutledge. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. I like the move yesterday. They always like moves in retrospect when they pay off, but Walt Weiss with the 2-out walk to Helton. A lot of managers wouldn't pull a runner in that situation, figuring, well, there's 2 outs. We'll wait till he gets to second if that happens. But he went for it with Jeremy Affeldt, a left-handed pitcher on the mound. He said, you know what, we're going to put Rutledge in there. And Rutledge, to his credit, was aggressive and ends up stealing second, and then the hit by Arenado.
Good part about it with Rutledge is, you know, he's over at first and he's got Latch there with him as a coach. And then with Affeldt, he will take his front foot, lead foot, and he'll curl it at times. And when you do, you go behind the rubber. Once you're behind the rubber, you're committed to go to home plate. If you go to first, it's a balk. And he got a really good read on that and was able to steal second base.
Look past Stu Cole.
Nice nab down the line. I like it. You notice how many people, when a ball gets hit on the ground down there, there's like 80 people that all have gloves. Where's your seat? Front row, left field. Here's the gloves. Missed it, picked it. There's all the other guys with gloves.
I think that next guy would have had it if there was one more miss.
Yeah, they all just get in the line. Let it roll up the line. I'm going to grab it. Makes it tough to eat, though. The little guy there is just going to use the hat. He's going to lean over and snatch it. Looked like he had on Drew's favorite show, Duck Dynasty hat.
I like Duck Dynasty.
Oh, I love Duck Dynasty. Ow.
That thing careened off of Quiros and then hit the screen.
Oh, it's Sunday and you're in the lineup. Whack. I mean, whenever it hits and it knocks the straps, that's pretty good. You got it really good.
It's 3-2 on Rutledge. Rutledge with a 2-strike count. Just 8 for 76. part of the greatness of Todd Helton throughout his career in 2-strike counts. He's been among, for a while, he had the highest batting average in his era with 2 strikes. 270 range.
I like the at bat. For a guy that it's really quite honestly been struggling a little bit. He's fouling off some pretty nasty pitches. Everything's kind of been away from him, so you know, or excuse me, on that inner half right now. See if he elevates it, tries to come in on his hands and shatter that bat. If he takes it to the outside corner, they're going away from him.
And he missed.
Good
Terrific at bat for Rutledge, and as we were discussing last inning, because Bumgarner loses the 8-hole hitter, just like Pomeranz lost the 8-hole hitter, you cleared the deck here in the second inning. Pomeranz will swing it.
And Pomeranz is not a guy you can go to sleep on either. You got to be careful where you put your pitches. He'll hit it. Big, strong guy, not intimidated, right up on the plate. If you're wondering, at the minor league level, they do hit when they're playing National League teams.
These guys both are similar size, 6'5", about 240.
Yeah, I hated those. You get hit back to the mound, little numbers like that. You're just like, come on, get here. I know you're coming.
No score. We go to the third. Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford F-150. It's not just a truck, it's an F-150, and it's built Ford tough by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Honey Smoked Fish Company, secrets in the fire. It's a ready-to-eat superfood. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Oh, are we going to get some of those later, Fraser? I hope so. The berry kebab.
Those are pretty good.
Those are really good. Larry Walker wants one.
He's already had one.
Where do you get my texting?
My phone's right here. Yeah. You don't have to text me. You're sitting next to me now.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's right. Good to have you in town, buddy.
Thanks.
Nice. We were supposed to ask you something about a ride down from Evergreen today. Did you have a fun ride or a bad ride?
I had a great ride.
A bicycle? Did you bike to the park today
No.
like everybody else?
I zipped my vehicle, but I was thinking about the starting pitcher today and what I had to do to hit him.
Oh. Well, you made that trip an awful lot, and you're pretty successful here in this ballpark doing it. Fun to watch.
How sweet is it for you to be back?
You know what? You forget how beautiful it is here. You know, being up in the mountains and seeing everything and people in the ballpark.
And the bobblehead came out okay?
Bobblehead, yeah, it's an awkward swing. Looks like it hurts.
When was the last time that you actually that you picked up a bat? Did you in spring train? Did you do it Team Canada at all?
No, I didn't. Man, I think it was over in Italy when I was with Team Canada for the World Cup, or I think it was for the World Cup. Guys. And Ernie Witt threw to me, and I think I swung and missed it the first 6.
I do remember fantasy camp, you clearing the palm trees about 3 years ago, and the guy popped off out of the dugout.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That was pretty good. Oh, yeah? You want to know if I can still do it? Here you go. Watch this. Go get it. It's about 3 parking lots over.
Yeah, I actually remember that one also.
Drew didn't get it. You know, as a camper, and we're coaches, it's great having you, Dante, and Vinny on our team. We typically win those games a lot.
You are supposed to win and handily, and you better win handily. How you been? I mean, what's keeping you busy these days?
Oh, gosh. I try to golf.
Are you any good?
The more I play, the worse I get.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
You shot. This guy is pretty good. Buster Posey with his second career home run against Pomerantz. He's now 3 for 3 against Pomerantz, and it's 1-0 San Francisco. That's why Bruce Bochy, even when he doesn't catch, can't take him out of the lineup.
Larry, I mentioned this to you. He was 0 for 3 in his first start against the Rockies. That's 48 straight ball games he's on base against us. Pretty good, huh?
That's why he's won what he's won.
MVPs and World Championships, exactly. Got an inside fastball, able to turn on this, and you can tell the rest by the look on Pomerantz's face. 1-0 Giants. This is what they call the pretty shot.
He's now 10 for 16 against the Rockies in this series. Hunter Pence takes low, ball 1.
And I'm not trying to stir the pot at all, but when Andres Galarraga was here, he said you play golf against him all the time, and you give him a lot of shots because he's not very good.
No, he's a liar. He's better than me. He was so bad years ago, and now he's like a 6 handicap from the back tees.
Really?
Yeah. What'd he tell you?
He said he was like a 14.
That's figures.
And you're like a 3.
Yeah.
And you play a lot more than he does.
I get 3 pars around.
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. 1-2 on Pence. You do look in all seriousness. You watch a lot of Rockies games. I know you watch the Cardinals.
Yep. I go back and forth between the two.
Your final 2 teams, if you will, in a decade, basically in a Rockies uniform. What have you seen from this club this year?
Well, I think consistency is obviously the hard part to get going and keep with any team. You get a little consistency, things will be good, and you got 2 good players that aren't in the lineup right now. I think Dexter's just got a wrist problem, and then Tulo. Tulo's one of the best players in the game, so to have him not out there can be a little frustrating. I mean, this kid on the mound here, it seems like he's got all the talent in the world.
Pretty good pitcher, and I think he's just mastering the fact of being able to command everything, as you said, consistency. Went down to the minor leagues, went 8-1, which was very good for Colorado Springs, obviously. He's at 52 pitches now as you work here in the 3rd.
How hard is it, Larry, to watch a game now and you look on and you were a great player and not say, how come he couldn't move the runner there? How come he didn't put that ball in play? Does the game look easier when you're watching on the tube?
It's very simple. I think I get mad at it sometimes when I can't figure out how the guy missed a pitch, or he didn't throw that pitch, or just it looks so easy on TV. To step in that batter's box and try and hit something that's coming at you 95 miles an hour, you forget. So I have to remind myself that there's some times where I couldn't hit nothing, and it is harder than it looks.
One of my favorite stories to relate, and I've done this, as you know, on the air. I've done it with you, and probably when it's come out without you. Randy Johnson, you famously flipped the hat around in the All-Star game, and that's poked to right field by Sandoval. That ends in 0 for 17 for Sandoval. and people accuse you, oh, I think there was one game in there where you didn't play against Randy Johnson. Everybody thought you were ducking him. Your career numbers against Randy Johnson were probably better than just about anybody who played the game. I mean, you hit close to 400 against him in his career, in your career. Is it funny when you look back and you say, man, I matched up with that guy and, you know, things went well? And
I laughed at how many other left-handers didn't play against him throughout their careers. But
they didn't bring those up.
For some reason, my name, I guess because I was hitting close to 400 at the time, I think that was the big stink about the whole, me not playing against him.
Rutledge with a pretty play. Stick around for another half inning?
Yeah, I'm here.
You got nothing to do anyway.
Yeah.
You're in retirement.
Hi, Kanan. Hi, Shayna.
1-0 on the post. Baseball there, my friend.
I like the hair.
Because the ball was about 30 rows deep.
You know, at that point, there you
Look
go.
at you. Look at that top hand. Oh, my
Strong,
goodness.
yeah. A little looser grip, huh? Larry Walker joins us.
You know what you do when you have
Top of the
bobblehead
order.
day? You get to ask for like 4 boxes and then you just give them to everybody for Christmas.
You just blew it. Now,
I already asked them if I could have a couple, and they told me they're already giving me 250. So if anybody that's asked for one, I told them they're getting 10.
What are you going to do with the other 150?
I don't know.
You and Andres could bet in the golf who gets whose bobblehead.
That's what we'll play for.
Or you can go around each tee box and leave a bobblehead at each tee box, so whoever's behind you.
That's back up the middle. Base hit for DJ LeMahieu. Rockies down 1-0 on the Posey home run. Jordan Pacheco at a base hit will come up next. I want to ask you something. You break down when you talk about the Blake Street Bombers and guys we had so much success with. If you were breaking each guy down offensively, strengths, forget weaknesses, but take each guy. Start with Vinny.
Wow.
You just saw him. When you think of, you know, the characteristics you thought of when you thought of your teammates at that time.
Well, I think the Vinny is the one that everybody saw because I got to see it firsthand, and that would be that every pitcher thought their stuff was so fast and so hard that they could put it on the inside corner past them, and it usually end up over the fence.
Down the line, just foul.
And then I think you could take Dante and you could almost say the same thing, except in the same breath he could also take one off the label. I think he practiced that and just float one over the shortstop's head for a base hit. But he hit it a mile as well.
You know, he jumps in the cage a lot. He still takes that one-handed hack.
He's so strong, it's ridiculous. You know, he's the foosball. You ever seen him play foosball? It's unbelievable what he can do, how strong he is in his wrist.
This ball toward the gap in right center field. Pence is going to cut it off, though. Right off the bat, that had a chance to get down. 1 out. Now bring up Gonzalez. You were asked, you had a press conference earlier. You were asked about, in particular, about Carlos Gonzalez because you were a 5-tool player. You had a great throwing arm. You were a great base runner. You could steal bases, power average. And Cargo has similar attributes. What do you think of when you look at him play?
Well, I think it's all very similar to what I did. I think he might be a little bit more athletic than me. I think his tools are a little bit more well honed, and I think when it's all said and done, that he's going to, if not be a first ballot Hall of Famer, that he's going to be pretty close to it. I mean, he's just got it all.
So we have video. You hitting home runs. You want to see it?
Just the ones that go really, really far.
That one went far.
That one went far.
That one went really far.
How'd you know?
That was the third deck.
I had hair.
Lots of hair.
Yeah, you did, by the way. So did I.
So did you, probably. Yeah. Yours is all gray too.
I keep trying to get. I tell him I'll shave mine off. He'll shave his off. He won't do it.
You think he's using Grecian formula, by the way?
Do you actually have to shave that, or you just take it off?
No, I shave it. I don't take it off. But I do put the dabs of gray in it.
Yeah, right. And that turned into a 6-4-3 double play. Walker, we're going to let you get back to your activities of the day.
Thanks for having me.
It's always good to see you. And
hey, you going to come back to fantasy with us again? Come on.
We'll see.
If you have something to say, here you go. I'll keep it out. It's good to see you, man.
It's great to see you, Larry.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
The great Larry Walker. Rockies trailing 1-0. Last inning as we go to the top of the fourth. 1-0 Giants looking to save money by using electricity wisely. Find out how the little changes add up at TogetherWeSave.com, your local Touchstone Energy cooperative, delivering reliable power, energy saving tools, and much more. Good to see Larry Walker.
Great to see Larry.
Larry's taken up bike riding also.
You know what? It's nice to see guys that still physically after you play the game. I mean, 9 knee surgeries later for me and a bad back. I loved to used to run when I played. I just can't do it anymore. Ride the bike. So my exercise is in a tractor. His is obviously going out and riding bikes, playing tennis. I sit in the tractor, I mow all day. And then to watch what he's doing, I mean, very accomplished golfer. Says he walks 18. He doesn't do the other. So, I mean, you know, all those things staying in shape. It's nice seeing, and to honestly see him walk in and look the way he looked.
He looks great.
Put a uni on and go play.
You know, we saw him.
We asked him about the home run. You know, when was the last home run you hit? Or hit a ball hard? The fantasy camp home run over the palm tree in Tucson was crushed.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago, and a couple years ago. And listen, once you got it,
It doesn't leave, does it?
It doesn't typically leave. Pomerantz strikes out Quiros. That's strikeout number 4 for Drew.
Now Pomerantz right now, the fastball's been the predominant pitch. Only one slider. He threw it for a strike, but some curveballs. 8 balls, only 4 strikes with the breaking ball, but still in this ball game, just giving up 4 hits, 1 run as he works here in the 4th. Pitch count very reasonable at 59.
Still trying to figure out that exercise you get on the tractor.
Come ride with me sometime. You'll find out.
What are you doing? Wheelies?
You
doing
bounce and you
wheelies
jiggle and you move and you hit all the dips and you jiggle and you move.
You got to change your radio station every once in a while?
No, it stays on the same one.
Okay.
I got to stop and get out and get more coffee every now and then and water, but
1-0 on Brandon Crawford, and it's 2-0 on Crawford.
You would be the perfect guy to be about 30 feet out in front of me, picking up all the sticks, moving them out of the way when I'm raking. Because you would like that. You really want to know? The only name I know for this guy that does it for me is Rooster. So I can just tell you, Rooster's the guy that does it in Oklahoma for me.
It's a suitable name, I guess, for that gig. We're talking about Walk and Randy Johnson. Larry hit .393 against the big unit.
Larry hit over 300 against everybody he faced. I'd like to see his overall record against. I mean, you're talking about a .334 lifetime batting average at Coors Field. I mean, 1 year he hit .374 here. I'd love to see who he had like .240 against.
Not many.
Phenomenal player. Saw him make a throw off the auxiliary scoreboard to third base 1 year when the Yankees were in here. Threw a guy out by about 15 feet.
And Pomerantz comes all the way back and strikes out Crawford.
Individual game suites and party facilities, they are available for the regular season, including the Cubs, Cardinals, and Red Sox series. So call for one of those sweet deals today. You get a lot more information about it. Bring your family out. It's a great way to do it. Coors Field Suites and Party Facilities. As you look at the strikeout of Brandon Crawford, right after a heater on that outside corner, looked much like the highlights from Colorado Springs at the start of this telecast.
Bumgarner base hit his first time. George, the Rockies 2 games back beginning play today. If they're to beat the Giants, they'd be a game back because Arizona lost again down in Atlanta 6-2.
They're in a stretch where they're playing some difficult teams.
That's a good hook and a strike.
The Dodgers 0-0 with Philadelphia. That game's in the 4th.
Padres lost again to Miami 6-2. The Rockies with a victory be the only team with a W in the division. Right now they're trailing 1-0 early on. Top of inning number 4. Pomerantz matched up with the accomplished Madison Bumgarner. 2 hops to third. Arenado, low throw, but it's handled by Pacheco. 1-2-3 inning. Best inning so far for Drew Pomerantz. look back. The only run of the game, Buster Posey in the third inning. Hit one to the seats and left. Posey 3 for 3, 2 jacks now lifetime against Drew Pomeranz. But Pomeranz, other than that, has really pitched very well. He has struck out 5 in 4 innings of work. And he has kept the Giants off balance. A lot of tardy swings against that fastball of his. A pretty good cutter also. As we go to the bottom of the 4th inning with George Frazier and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. Thanks again to Larry Walker for joining us for an inning. And Michael Kadire, he had the 26-game hitting streak, his second look at Pomeranz. He struck out, at Bumgarner. He struck out the first time. He's 3 for 7 lifetime against Madison.
He got him on a slow breaking ball down and then got him to chase it out on that front foot. Going to run a slider, tried to in under the hands for a strike to start it. He got a swing and miss on it.
Previous long hitting streak for Kadire was 14 games. Previous long hitting streak in Rockies annals was 23 by Dante Bichette. This is the longest hitting streak in the big leagues this year.
Thought it was interesting, his 45-game streak of reaching base. The only other guy that's had one longer in recent years was Kevin Millar with 52 games. He had to go all the way back to 2007. That covered a couple of months from June to August.
We just saw Millar in Boston. He was hanging out. 1-1 on Cuddy. Outfield shaded toward right center. That's up high, 2-1. The longest hitting streaks in the game the last 5 years. Amazingly, the last 5 years, Dan Uggla with 33 games. The reason I say amazingly, I mean, Uggla, guy with tremendous pop, but he's not a guy that hits for average.
No.
He got a pitch to hit there, and he fouled it back. It's 2-2. Andre Ethier by that. Ryan Zimmerman, 2 guys, 30-plus games. Ichiro, that makes sense, the way he can hit and run. Jose Reyes on that list. Emilio Bonifacio, 2011, 26 straight. And this is slowly hit to short. Crawford's going to throw him out. And Cuddy is now 0 for 2. 1 out. Willeen Rosario will come up. We go downstairs again to visit with Mark Stout. Mark?
The guys had a conversation with your Torrealba in the clubhouse about Willeen Rosario. I said, we're halfway through the season. What percentage of improvement have you seen in him? And Yorvik goes 80%. And then he said, no, 100%. He works with him daily on blocking drills, on receiving the baseball and throwing it to second, on his balance, and on calling a game. And that's what's most important to Yorvik Torrealba, how he calls a game. I said, can he be an all-star down the road? He said within 2 years, he predicts Rosario will be an all-star for the National League.
What he's done against left-handers has been very good throughout his career. A .323 average with 18 home runs and 42 RBIs.
And he's hitting .294 this year against lefties. Hit the ball sharply with runners at first and third in the first inning, but it was right at Brandon Crawford. Yorvik, Johnny Herrera, 2 natives of Venezuela chatting. Just hope that first inning, George, doesn't come back to haunt the Rockies. First and third, nobody out. Cargo struck out on a curveball. Kadire struck out on a curveball, and Rosario, as we mentioned, put it in play, but it was right at Crawford.
You'd like to think if you start to match up the bullpens, and even though Romo's been outstanding, he's faltered of late, that with brothers a day rest after his work on Friday night, yesterday Belisle, an inning in the third, by the way, scoreless, perfect inning in the third of work. And the game was tied, got out of a difficult jam there in the 8th.
And this is an easy play for Crawford, 2 outs. Here's the AT&T trivia question on a Sunday afternoon. Rockies are 8-4 on Sundays this year, a departure from the last couple of years. Who holds the Rockies record for home runs in a season? Last year, the Rockies were 5-22 on Sundays. They're just altogether better on the weekends, because last year they were, listen, you lose 98 games, you're bad a lot of days, but Saturday and Sunday were really tough days. Rockies on the weekend this year have one of the best marks in baseball. A 1-2-3 inning for Madison Bumgarner. So we'll go to the fifth, 1-0 on the Buster Posey home run. Contest ends today, so go vote for your favorite fan photos on the Root Sports Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRF and click on the Ultimate Fan tab. I don't know where that bird's looking in.
You don't know where out? He's out in center field. Where else do you know there's pine trees hanging around in the ballpark?
I thought it could have been an exterior shot. I didn't realize it was inside the ballpark. It's a live
hey,
shot.
we find everything inside the ballpark.
Remember the bird? Were you working that?
Yes.
That day the bird was hanging out in the middle, right to the right of the pitcher's mound for like 3 innings.
Well, he just got it. He paid for a good seat and he wanted it. So far, Pomeranz 6 ground ball outs, a fly out, and 5 strikeouts. And Bumgarner on the other side of that's got a lot of balls on the ground. 8 so far, a couple of fly outs and 2 strikeouts. Both of these young pitchers doing a great job today.
And again,
get some offense going.
So key that you can throw a secondary pitch for a strike. He couldn't do that much last year with the curveball. He did it here. Good catch in the stands. And then Torres a little bit late on the fastball. And now you're ahead 0-2. It's also our Twitter talk inning. Here's the 0-2, and that ball through the left side, a base hit.
75-mile-an-hour curveball.
So Torres a leadoff single. I'll bring up Tony Abreu. First question: who gets credit for scoring the winning run yesterday, Helt or Rutledge? Rutledge.
It's the gentleman that's touches home plate.
And if you think about it, and it has to work that way, because if Todd was out there, he wouldn't have been stealing second base, so he wouldn't have been in a position to score on the Arenado hit. Great job earning that walk. It's the guy who scores.
Go get some more lumber.
Do you think Larry Walker should make the Hall of Fame? Philip.
Great question. It really is, and it's a very debatable question, but for his era of time of playing baseball, my vote is yes. He was one of the best players, and that seems to be the criteria now. A 15-year period, over that 10 years, he was one of the best players in the game.
And I like how you phrased that, George, because I concur that the Hall of Fame players from any era ought to be the players that were the absolute most dominant players for an extended period.
How many years Larry get? 12, 11, 12 years in the big leagues? Gold Glove 7 times. Well, Gold Glove 7 times, All-Star many times, batting champion 3 times. I mean, meant a lot of what you needed to have done to have that going on. I mean, people are going to talk about Curt Schilling being in the Hall of Fame with his time frame of winning baseball games, and Larry Walker needs to be the same way.
You know, the thing that hurts Larry, quite frankly, is the fact that he played at Coors Field, which is unfair. You play where you play. And the other thing is there were a lot of years that, because of injury, Larry didn't play 150 plus games. But 383 home runs, 1,300 plus RBIs. Career batting average of 313. This ball well hit center field. Colvin can't make the catch. Short hops the wall. Torres will get a stop sign from Tim Flannery, and it's second and third, nobody out, with Posey coming up.
Tony Brady's hit a couple of balls hard. A double, now this other double that he hit off the dead center field fence. On a very good low fastball from Pomeranz. Watch coming out of the hand. Four-seam fastball. And as it approaches the home plate area, it's going to be down. So he just drops the head of the bat on it. But as it got to center field on Colvin, it had carry and it had a left turn on it. See Colvin trying to get over to it. And then when it hit up against that wall, it got over his head in a hurry. You know, tough position here. You got the one guy you don't want to face with men on, Buster Posey. Second, third, no outs. Keep it to one if you can.
Infield halfway. And two quick strikes on Posey. Right now it's 1-0 on a Posey third inning home run. Tried to cut that ball in on the hands, and he left it out over the plate enough that Posey hit his 12th of the year.
Two times it appears that Rosario wanted to go inside. Pomeranz shook to the outside corner, made two excellent pitches.
He just doesn't chase. 1-2. What makes the Rockies a better team on Sundays than last year? They're healthier. They're a better team last year than last year, whether it would be Sunday, Monday, too. And I think some people look and say, well, you know, Jim Tracy always rolled out a Sunday lineup and rested a lot of guys. Every manager is always going to look for places to get guys rest. To second, oh, now they got a guy hung up. Throw was too late. Oh boy, that was just not a good play there by Pacheco. Unfortunately, Rocky just gave the Giants a run. They should have gotten 2 outs on the play. Should have had 2 outs. For some reason, Jordan hesitated when he had Tony Abreu dead to rights.
One more look at the play. Ball's hit hard off the bat, skipped right to Rutledge. He's going to make the snap throw over. Now you look to home plate. No reason to look to home. Look to second. He was halfway out. So watch what's going to happen when Jordan catches the baseball. Immediately looks to third base to look that guy back. Now is he trying to draw a throw? You bet he did. And a wild throw from Jordan into the outfield, and the run scores. George, see that often from Pacheco. He doesn't make baseball mistakes.
No, I think honestly, I think Abreu missed the call. I think he thought the contact play was on, and that Torres was going to break. Torres never broke.
I don't know if it was on it. I mean, you know, for that,
I don't think he was trying to draw a throw. He was 3/4 of the way down the line.
Well, he just took off. He wasn't paying attention. Forgot there was a guy at third.
And this ball toward the gap in right center field, and deep and gone. Pence with a 2-run home run, and now it's 4-0 San Francisco. Things have come unraveled here in the 5th inning. '13th home run for Pence. He leads the Giants in that department.
Well, first time you've seen Bruce Bochy smile in a while. A breaking ball that was out on the outer half of the plate. Just trying to watch. You'll see it on the replay. The elevation of the pitch. Not that poorly, but a little bit above the knee area. Pence, a free swinger that's strong, man. He just drove it out into right center field and into that Rockies bullpen. Not a lot of wind now, as I've heard me say in the past. I checked those flags above the rock pile and above the stadium to see which way the wind's going, because if there's any tunnel in the park, it's in that bullpen area.
No swing on Sandoval. It's 2-0. Pitch number 85 for Pomerantz. He's due up third next inning.
No activity in the Rockies bullpen as of this moment. I mean, there won't be, but as right now, there's not.
Rockies have been out hit 7-2, and a 4-pitch walk to Sandoval. Third walk issued by Pomerantz.
Yeah, we'll probably get a phone call and a visit maybe from Jimmy Wright, or if not, Willeen Rosario.
Do you think Posey will become a full-time first baseman at some point down the road, but not for a while? He's a good catcher.
Yeah, Posey, you think about it, he's only had 2 pass balls. He's somebody that you see Wilton Lopez sprinting down to get loose to get out of the inning. That's what he'd be used for, get out of this inning. Then use somebody else so you don't have to do a double switch and use a lot of guys here.
You know, they've done that in Minnesota with Joe Mauer, and here's the thing for me, and it kind of relates a little bit, but not entirely, to Troy Tulowitzki. You have an unusual commodity when you have a catcher that can swing the bat like Buster Posey. In the case of Joe Mauer, Mauer's not a power guy. There was one year he hit, I think, 20+ home runs when the baggie was still up before your old stadium, George.
Right.
And when you move him to first, is he still a great hitter? Absolutely, but he's more Sean Casey than he is, you know, Boone Powell.
He's a line drive gap guy.
And at first base, what do you really want? You want a guy who hits it over the wall.
Yeah, you want somebody that's going to hit at least 20 home runs, drive in 100+ runs.
So he's not the same. He's not the same valued commodity, talking about Joe Mauer, at first as he was when he's behind the plate full time. Now, in the case of Posey, Posey gets a few more home runs than Mauer, but there's no point in moving him until much further down the road. Just like I know that Tulowitzki's had injuries, but he got injured diving. He could dive if he was at first base. I've heard some people say they should move Tulowitzki to first base.
No, I hear that all the time.
You have such an unusual.
You know, the only position you're going to put Tulowitzki where he's not going to get hurt is DH. Okay, we don't have a DH in the National League. I like the guy at shortstop. You know, if you want to give him a day off every now and then, that's one thing. But find me a better shortstop in the National League. He just happens to play the game at the highest level it can be played at. Injuries are going to be a part of it for him. Can't fault the guy for that. He's playing hard.
1-2 on Juan Perez. And Rosario snap throw does not get Sandoval. Who calls the positioning of the fielders? How is it communicated to the field? Depends if you're talking infield or outfield.
Well, part of the thing too is you have these scouting reports put together, and a lot of times you'll pitch to the defense. In other words, if Posey's a dead pull hitter, then we're going to pitch him away, play him away, and that's the way. When the ball's in the air, it's going to be pulled to right. That's going to be with your outfield. And on the infield, it's going to be Stu Cole that's going to position the guys on the infield where to play. And you've got to be aware of the fact, for me, you've got to be very aware of the fact of the count of who's up at the plate and what it is, particularly in the middle of the infield. If I got a sinker ball guy on the mound and he's going to pound right-handers in with the sinker, then, you know, my shortstop better cheat over into the hole a little bit, so as well as the third baseman, to cut off a lot of those balls that squeak through the left side. For a right, left-handed hitter up, I got a sinker ball guy. You better be prepared up the middle to be able to make plays on the baseball. So all that positioning goes along with who's pitching too. Well, Wilton Lopez throwing, and Walt Weiss making a move here.
Pomerantz got ahead of Perez 1-2, and then he lost him. So it's been a rough fifth inning for Drew Pomerantz, and he's going to be gone after 4 1/3 and 92 pitches. Giants trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. They're up 4-0. With Jake Owen on the menu also on July 26th at Cheyenne Frontier Days. You'll also be entered to win baseball packages plus the VIP grand prize. For official rules and to enter, visit cfdrodeo.com/Jason Aldean. Wilton Lopez will take over here in the 5th inning with 1 out and 2 men aboard, taking over for Drew Pomerantz.
Well, he's not happy either. Pomerantz disappointed in his effort today. I can tell you that. This young man wanted to come up and pitch well. Walked 4, gave up 7 hits. Lopez on the year, 1-3, 40 2/3 innings. Now, what he's in for right now, folks, is shut this inning down. He's in to get a double play ball. He's in to get the inning over with. And then they'll go to someone else to come out and pitch the next inning, more than likely Ottavino.
Guillermo Quiroz takes inside, ball 1. Boy, look at that, George. He has an overlapping grip. It's almost like a golf grip.
There's some guys that do that, and it's strange, isn't it? I've seen that on a couple of guys where they overlap this one finger over the top of that index. I think you'd break it. The other thing, that's no different, I guess, than those guys taking and putting a. Let's look at that again. Give me a shot of that thing. Well, that's nuts. Huh? But obviously it's something he's done throughout his career, so he's had success. The man's in the big leagues. Lopez ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I don't know how he does that.
Yesterday, a base hit against Lopez. He's on a broken bat. Got it right in on the hands, right below the label, shattered the bat.
Who was it? Ty Cobb? Did he hit cross-handed? Who hit cross-handed?
I didn't pitch against him, so I don't remember.
Sure you did. Liar. 2-2.
That's why I always laugh at little kids. You tell them turn around, hey, hit the other way, and they do. But they keep their hands right-handed to hit left-handed, and they hit it. And you go, how do you do that? That's like cross-handed golfer. Who was the guy that played cross-handed in golf and was pretty good at it too? And I just sit and watch it. I just, some guys able to do a lot of things athletically that obviously I never could. And it's not something you teach to hold the bat that way.
Quiroz lines it foul. All right, another question from our Toyota text line. Who has the better arm, Walker, Hop, or Cargo? Joseph,
I'll take all 3. Ty goes the runner. They're all great arms. I think, when Hop was younger, had a tremendous arm. But for me, quite honestly, and Walker's in the ballpark today, but Gonzalez's arm, for his accuracy and what he can do, is pretty impressive.
it a couple weeks ago. This ball.
Foul.
Yeah, it's going to turn foul. This ball, remember about 2 weeks ago, George, Cargo was basically on the warning track down the left field line and threw a strike to the plate.
Threw the guy out.
Out. Yeah.
Walker did a lot of those things too on line drives to right field. And I'm trying to think of the guy's name that played for the Pirates that caught one off of that deal and dropped dead.
Jose Guillen.
Guillen caught it off that wall in right field and threw a knee-high strike to third base. Threw out Nafi Perez by 10 feet.
Yeah, Jose Guillen had a ridiculous arm.
Kind of hacked me off after the throw. He kind of giggled all the way in. He was laughing. Like, really? I think he surprised himself. Tell you what, long at bat right here. Fouling off a lot of pitches. 9 so far, 7 strikes, 2 balls. Lopez not a strikeout type pitcher, more of a ground ball double play, and that's what you're hoping for. 40 in the third innings on the year, 23 strikeouts.
Looking at some of Larry's numbers, George. I'm going to read you the numbers, and then you tell me what he finished in the All-Star voting. In 1999, he had 37 home runs, drove in 115, hit 379, had an OPS of 1168. Always my MVP, Walker. Line drive, and that's a base hit. Sandoval will stop at third. The bases are loaded for Brandon Crawford. Anyhow, 37, 115, 379 batting average. What do you think he finished in the MVP that year?
Third.
10th. Huh. Now he played 127 games, so maybe they held that against him. I don't know how you hit 379, driving 115, you finished 10th.
How about that? There you go. Look at that. The big stick back. I like it. Yeah, I'll trade you a couple of balls for the bat.
I got one more for you. You're not going to believe.
Frankie Frisch, Christy Matheson. What did they all have? They hit with cross hands. How about that, Drew? You ask, I got you an answer.
Infield fly rule. Arenado makes the catch, 2 outs. Now Bumgarner will come up. All right, George, here's one more. Walker in 2001 played 142 games, 38 home runs, 35 doubles, 123 driven in, stole 14 bases, hit 350, had an OPS of 1111. What do you think he finished in the MVP voting?
7th.
24th.
Well, that's just bad voting.
That's ridiculous.
Of course, that's the year, you know, they're all talking about, well, Coors Field, Coors Field. By the way, Hank Aaron hit cross-handed too. Did you know that until he got in the minor leagues? He used to be a line drive punch guy to right field. He got his hands right. He started hitting home runs.
Did he kid cross-handed?
Yeah, here.
I mean, he played in the old Negro leagues before. You telling me he was hitting cross-hand? I did not know that.
A little tidbit for Sunday afternoon.
Christy Matheson was a pitcher, so that doesn't count.
Well, sure it does. Still had to hit all the time. They didn't have a DH.
Frankie Frisch in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir. Sandoval's out at third base.
It's Juan Perez at second, and Guillermo Quiroz is at first. 2 runs, 3 runs in the inning. Pence a 2-run home run. It's 4-0. Lopez needs to get Bumgarner right here. To third, tough pickup, tough throw, but perfect.
And a foul ball.
And none of it counts.
You're like me. You look down to third base and your eyesight stopped with Arenado because it was a nice play. But then you got to go 15 feet behind to see Bob Davidson when he throws up both hands. See, he's looking at it, and finally it's kind of marveling at the backhand short hop by Arenado, then the throw over to first. But it was good practice for when it happens real.
That is such a tough pickup.
No, short hop like that one, particularly the short hop's like 4 feet out in front of him.
By the way, Larry, George, got parts of 18 years in the big leagues. Swung on and missed. So Lopez strikes out Bumgarner, but the Giants hit around. And the
To the game today is Rockies Weekly, and we're going to take you to Boston. We're going to show you a lot of shots of Fenway Park. The Rockies were there this week. We'll also go to Cape Cod. Rex Brothers and his little brother Hunter, you'll meet them. We'll also have the highlights from this Giants series, and Renee Latchman is going to talk stealing bases. He's the Rockies' first base coach. That's coming up right after the game, after the post game today. I'll host it, and you guys can watch it. All right, let's go back upstairs to Drew and George. Guys?
all right, Mark, we thank you. Rockies need to get after Madison Bumgarner.
Hey, I want to clean something up real quick. I thought it was very interesting. Who led the Negro Leagues hitting cross-handed in 1952 with a .467 average?
That's Hank Aaron. You didn't know he hit cross-handed, George?
Look at that. Isn't that something?
.467.
.467. He hit 52 hitting cross-handed.
It's a great exhibit. It's in Cooperstown a few weeks ago. Great exhibit. Long-standing exhibit on Henry Aaron. Tyler Coleman pops this one up. Sandoval's got to play. 1 out. He was a teenager when he left home to play in the old Negro Leagues. Rutledge with 1 out. I think back, we're in an era, George, we had the PED era. Still trying to clean up baseball, obviously, but there's so many big, strong guys who hit the ball over the wall. You think of two of the greatest home run hitters of all time, Henry Aaron and Willie Mays, two guys that we both had the good fortune to meet. 5'11", 185 pounds.
Well, their forearms are like tree trunks.
They are. I mean, they were strong and tremendous athletes, but still, I mean, they weren't 6'4" and 240.
The amazing thing to me was that with all the home runs Aaron hit, he still had 3,000 hits. even taking away the home runs.
Yeah.
Dickerson out in the on-deck circle. He'll pinch hit. It looked like Ottavino or it could be Manny Corpus, I believe, warming up down in the Rockies bullpen. It is Manny Corpus. He'll come on into the ball game.
Bumgarner at 63 pitches. That's the thing, George, about that cutter from the lefty to a right-handed hitter. Even if you pull your hands in and get the barrel on it, he got the barrel of that baseball, but the only place you're going to hit it is foul.
That's why I always say back foot slider to left-handers. They're either going to drive it into their front foot or they're going to pull it into foul territories because it's biting in on you so hard. Same difference here that we're talking about with a left-hander on the mound. I mean, the only time you catch one is when they make a mistake and leave it out over the plate and it just stays up on top. But he gets such long extension out front. Very good extension. Long backside, kind of a slingy back arm. But when he comes forward, it's got a lot of extension to home plate. The other thing, he does a really nice job. Really does a good job of keeping upright above on when he's on the rubber. You don't see him have a lot of collapse in the back leg. You're able to keep that nose over that knee, stay straight up and down on the backside over the top of the rubber. Watching those hands separate very rarely. Right there, as he drops that leg, the hands drop. They said, Rutledge, good job.
Thanks again for texting your questions at the top of the fifth for Toyota Talk. For more answers to those questions, visit the Root Sports Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM. Tracy Ringlesby standing by. Corey Dickerson will pinch hit for Lopez. You may be saying, well, why is Walt Weiss setting up a left-handed bat against a difficult lefty? The only options from the right side is your number 2 catcher, Torrealba. Dexter Fowler can't swing the bat right now, and then Johnny Herrera, and you want to keep your utility infielder for potential use in a double switch late in the game. So it's either Dickerson or Helton. Kid's been impressive so far, hasn't he, George?
Yeah, it's been. I got the privilege of watching him last year in Tulsa on a frequent basis and could really swing the bat. He started the year in Modesto, then was brought to Tulsa about a third of the way through the season. Continued the hot hitting there. Obviously performed very, very well in spring training. Earned the right to be at Colorado Springs, and here he is. Pretty good swing.
Ball and 2 strikes on Dickerson. 1 out. Rutledge at first. 4-0 San Francisco. Colorado Avalanche today, if you missed it, had the #1 selection in the NHL draft. They took Nathan McKinnon, center iceman, 17-year-old. Same hometown as one Sidney Crosby. High 2-2. Seth Jones, son of Popeye, a man who grew up in this area, went number 4 to Nashville. Two and 2 on Corey Dickerson. Strike 3.
caught enough of that inside corner, but it looked a little bit like a wraparound, you know. Watch it come right out of the hand here. As a hitter, you're thinking, all right, that's inside, because it appears it's coming right at that kneecap and then right at the last second. And what sold it is how far he reached back to try to catch it and keep it in the zone. I can see why there was an argument or a disagreement.
LeMahieu's reached twice against Bumgarner, a walk and a single.
Coors Field available year-round for special events in most areas of the ballpark. You can reserve those. Call 303 Rockies. Get more information on that. You can book it right here at Coors Field. 303 Rockies for more information.
And a 2-strike count on DJ. A swing and a miss, and Hero's throw to first is in time to Posey. The base hit, the man left in the 5th. We go to the 6th. The Giants up 4-0. This is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. By 5-Hour Energy Shots. And by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Giants got 4 runs off Drew Pomeranz. He went 4 1/3, 4 runs, 4 earned, 7 hits, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts in his return to the big leagues. Lopez got the final 2 outs of the 5th inning, and now in the 6th it'll be Manuel Corpus, and his sinker is in the dirt. Ball 1 against Andres Torres. Torres, Abreu, Buster Posey, 1, 2, and 3 in the Giants lineup. Giants have lost 6 in a row. They've lost 8 of 9, 11 of 14. 4 runs for them. I mean, that's a breakout game offensively, the way things have gone the last month or so.
You know, it's funny, the other day whenever Zito pitched, we were talking about that 4 runs or more, and it made me think about it. Just when he's on the mound in his career, 128-9. Is that stupid? 43-8 if in a Giant uniform. when they score 4 more. The trouble is they can't score 4 runs. Now all of a sudden they throw 4 on the board. You got a guy like Bumgarner on there. It makes it hard.
Well, they scored 2 runs in the first 2 games of this series. Three and one on Torres, and Torres bidding for another hit. Is robbed by DJ LeMahieu.
He has been outstanding during this series. The other night, particularly in last night's ball game, I should say, with Kane and De La Rosa going at it. Numerous plays in the infield. The night before that, with Chacin on the mound, he made 5 outstanding plays just like this, where he dove for the ball. The timing was perfect. Off balance, on your knees, falling backwards, and a strike over to Pacheco.
And he got a fast man in the process. 1 out, Tony Abreu, 2 doubles in the game. Abreu, Posey, and Hunter Pence, the hitting stars. Auto glass damage, call Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or go to safelite.com. Tommy Runnels, Todd Help. Two-strike count on Abreu. And Tony hits it in the air to shallow center field. Colvin broke back initially, comes on and makes a catch. 2 gone. That'll bring up Posey, who's 1 for 2 and a walk. The one was a home run to give the Giants a 1-0 lead. That came in the 3rd inning. To short. Nice pick by Rutledge.
Nice job by Manny Corpus. Maintain that ball game.
So the Rockies in the bottom of the 6th inning, trailing 4-0. Will have Pacheco, Gonzalez, and Kadire. Michael 0 for 2 so far.
The All-Star game is coming up soon, and you still have to get the vote out for your Rockies to get them to New York to Citi Field, like Kadire and Cargo, who are coming up this half inning. There are a few ways you can do it. MLB.com, Rockies.com. Online, you can vote up to 35 times. This is the official ballot you get at the stadium, or you can come here in Coors Field. We're down the right field line by the Blue Moon Brewing Company. You can vote electronically and get a voucher for an upcoming game, Monday through Thursday, 2 tickets to an upcoming Rockies game, just for voting for Rockies to get to the All-Star game. So do that. It runs through July 4th at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. So the Dodger series, you can do it here, guys.
All right, Mark.
That's a great deal. Come down here and vote, get after it. By the way, Juan Nicasio made his initial start down in Colorado Springs today. He went 3 innings, 3 hits, a run. He walked the batter, 2 strikeouts. He threw 53 pitches, 31 strikes, 7 ground ball outs, and then the rain hit. He had about a 2-hour rain delay, and Mike McClendon came in after. They trail in the ballgame 4-1.
Ball and a strike on Pacheco. Single and a line drive to right center field. Rockies this year 6-6 against the Giants. They've been outstanding against the West, 23-15. Tomorrow's an off day, as Mark mentioned, and the Dodgers come in. Tuesday will be a toughie with Clayton Kershaw going against Roy Oswalt on Tuesday. Cargo's on the on-deck circle. He took a pretend hack at that foul ball because it was coming right in his direction.
He foul it off?
No.
No, but he's not going to get hit in the ankle again, I can tell you that.
It's a second, Abreu. One out, Gonzalez coming up. He's 0 for 2, a strikeout, and a 6-4-3 double play. AT&T trivia question: who holds the Rockies record for home runs in a season? 49 from Larry Walker in '97 and Todd Helton in 2001. Cargo right now the co-leader in the National League in home runs with 21, along with Philadelphia's Dominic Brown.
Well, I tell you what, Bumgarner right now is a guy that's good ball.
This ball's tagged to center field and deep, and that's home run number 22. And the Rockies are on the board.
Well, I tell you what, that thing crushed.
That's his 4th career home run against Madison Bumgarner.
Another one of those personal milestones, 60 RBIs too. I mean, you watch climbing by 10s all the time. 60, and it's not the All-Star break or official All-Star game. So, man, is that fun to watch.
He looked like he took some frustration out on that swing, George.
Yeah, no question about it. And when he did hit this baseball right out of the hand of Bumgarner, a high fastball, there wasn't any doubt about it, I can tell you that. It looked like slider from the grip, and just spun, stayed flat, never had any downward tilt to it, and he jumped all over it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Bowl. He gave it a ride. A long ride, but a quick one.
So Kadire trying to extend his hitting streak to 27 games.
I started to say Madison Bumgarner had thrown 83 pitches and had 21 foul balls in the game. That's huge. Watch the reliever over in the bullpen. Hey, watch out, got an incoming. Almost took his head off.
Michael, a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Way inside. It's 2-0. So the count to the advantage of Kadire. 346 average coming in. 343 now, 14 jacks, 48 RBIs. No question those are all-star numbers. Along with Gonzalez. Down on the ground to third. Low throw, and it's picked by Posey. Sandoval threw it in the dirt. More accurately, threw it in the grass. 2 outs. Dyer will get one more AB at the very least. 2 gone. Willeen Rosario coming up. All copy fun fact: Larry Walker in '99, Chipper Jones in '06. The only living former big leaguers to have batted .500 or better during the streak of 20 or more games. Stan Musial, the late Stan Musial, had one as well. Larry hit .506 on his 21 game hitting streak. That's ridiculous. Kadire came in with an average of .376 during his 26th game. I don't recall, George, off the top of my head, Kadire having to get a hit in his final at bat once this streak reached double digits.
I agree. I don't either. I can't remember it at all.
Now maybe early on when you don't pay as close attention when it's a 5-game or a 6-game.
What'd you say earlier? 15 of the get over with in first at bats at 15 different times.
Yep, 15 hits in his first official AB. 1-2 on Rosario. Twice has hit it on the ground to Crawford, the shortstop. That home run by Cargo, just the 4th hit allowed by Bumgarner. That's pretty typical. The league hitting .199 against him. Righties .201, lefties .195. So he doesn't discriminate.
100+ innings pitched with only 74 hits coming into today's game.
And a strikeout per inning pitch, basically.
102 out of 104. Just what Drew's talking about. Only 30 walks, too, on the season. Out of 104 innings.
He has been the Giants' best starter in a year where their rotation has dropped off from their lofty standards. Two and two. And it's 3-2 on Willeen.
Arenado waits on deck. Willeen, a lot of off-speed stuff. They're playing accordingly. Sandoval's only a couple of steps off the third base back. And Crawford shady. With Abreu up the middle at second.
And a walk. You just start thinking, can you extend the inning a little bit? He's at 93 pitches. Is it 93 or 83?
93.
93. See your
Rags,
old teammate.
you're going to make that phone call down there. This whole rotation's been taxed pretty good the last 3 years, going to the World Series playoffs, 2 out of the 3, pitching into the middle of November. I mean, it's very taxing on the arms. I think as you battle to stay 4 back, you know, the big thing is protecting some of these arms. Now that really hurt.
That cut in and hit Nolan Arenado.
The pad doesn't go around the ankle. It only goes around the inside. That's going to hurt.
just missed the padding.
Yeah, all they caught was that elastic strap that holds the padding in place. Got it right above the ankle bone. Wow. Boy, you hope that's bruised.
Sandy Rosario's throwing in the Giants' pen. Has been back and forth between AAA Fresno and San Francisco.
Yeah, Nolan's still trying to walk that off on his foot, still bothering him down there, rightfully so.
Colvin rolls at the second. And that'll get Bumgarner out of the inning. Home run by Carlos Gonzalez. A walk and a hit batter. The Rockies lead 2 on. They trail 4-1 as we go to the 7th. McDonald's now get a coffee, sausage McMuffin, or hash browns for only $1 each on the dollar menu at breakfast. I'm loving it. Buster Posey had a third-inning home run against Drew Pomeranz. And then in the 5th inning, Hunter Pence would hit a 2-run home run against Pomeranz. He walked 4, 2 in that inning, and was gone after 4 1/3. Rocky just got a run a few minutes ago on home run, the 22nd, National League leading 22nd by Carlos Gonzalez. 4th career home run against Madison Bumgarner. 4-1 is where we stand. Top of the 7th inning. Posey made the final out, so it'll be Hunter Pence against Manuel Corpus. 2nd inning of work for Corpus.
Kept the ball down in the zone, had a 1-2-3 inning. In the 6th, looking to do the same in the 7th, and then you'll hand it off to probably Ottavino for the 8th and 9th, I would think.
Two 2-0 on Pence. coming into today, the Rockies had allowed the Giants only 4 runs their last 37 innings at Coors Field. How would you rate Pomerantz's return, George?
Well, not very good. Obviously, I don't think he would either. 7 hits, 4 walks. That's not the way he was throwing down at AAA. He's been throwing the ball really well, so I know he's not going to be pleased with it. I'd much rather have a lot better results than what he did. You look back to the one play with Pacheco when he threw the ball away, lets the run. But then you got to make some pitches, and Pence hit the home run out to right center.
3-2. Strikes him out with a slider.
Doing a big sweeper and got him. Hey, visit your local dugout stores for all things Rockies and get discounted tickets with every $20 per merchandise purchase. Also, check out the great gift with purchase opportunities. So make sure you do that. Stop by one of the Rockies dugout stores. You could go to 830-832-TEAM and check out all the locations. Just stop by and get your Rockies gear and tickets for ball games.
Rockies made another move today. They signed Xavier Nady, time right-handed power threat, to a minor league deal. Playing today in Colorado Springs.
Left field. Yep, playing left field today.
One and one on Panda. Sandoval 1 for 2 and a walk. Sandoval with the base hit in the 3rd inning, snapped an 0 for 17 slide. His 13 games with a strained left foot was on the DL. Giants are in the middle of a long road trip. They went 0 for 3 in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. They lost the first 2 here. And then Bruce Bochy's team will go to Cincinnati next.
It's not an easy trip, I'll tell you that. It's kind of like Arizona running through Atlanta right now. Those trips get difficult. Braves still playing great baseball.
Good pitch by Corpus. He strikes out Sandoval. Back-to-back punch-outs.
Back foot slider. Got him to chase on it. Very well located at 83 miles an hour.
Now to bring up Juan Perez. 0 for 2 and a walk. Perez, the center fielder this afternoon. Count. Today, the final day of June, the Rockies are 13-14 in June. They went 16-11 in April. May saw them slide under 500 with a 12-16 mark. Outside, I'm just looking at some notes here, George. Last 2 years, so much was made about the Rockies' inability to win on Sundays, right?
Oh yeah.
This year on Monday they're 1-7. On Thursday they're 1-7. Saturday and Sunday have been the best days of the week.
Well, normally you're off on Monday and Thursday. That's not good. Normally the scheduling says you don't have to play. This year they are. They're not playing well.
3-2.
2-14 on those 2 days.
the 3-2, and he loses him. So Perez walks. Rockies on the weekend actually had, what a contrast to the last couple of years, the second best mark in baseball to the Pirates, and that includes Friday, by the way. How about the Pirates? Did you have the Pirates as having around the halfway mark in baseball, the best record in the game?
No, I did not. Clint Hurdle has those Pirates playing very good baseball right now.
Well, they've pitched exceptionally well.
Well, I think a lot of that's due to Russell Martin signing, too. Guy that can really catch. You know, he went away from the Yankees as a free agent, signed with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Spent a little time in a Dodger uniform.
Contrast in that Central. Cincinnati Rockies took 2 of 3 out there, but you know the Reds are a really good team. They're 10 over 500. They're 5 back. They're in 3rd place. Cards a game behind the Pirates.
Really crazy division right now going on over there, and again, you mentioned it. St. Louis 49-31, 46-35. American League, a dogfight with Boston, Baltimore, New York, and Tampa making a run at it. Toronto playing good baseball. The only division, every team at 500 or better. Toronto 7 back at 40-40.
You had a big game last night from Jose Bautista to beat Boston. Popped up. LeMahieu going out. Colvin coming on. Who's going to catch it? Nobody. And the throw to the plate is not going to get Perez. He scores all the way from first base. Ball up in the air for that length of time. You figure ought to be caught. And he scored a single for Quiros.
2 outs, so your outfield playing deep. Colvin's playing deep. Kadyr's playing deep, but it hung an awful long time up in the air. See, right off of the bat, Colvin's coming in. LeMahieu's going back. He's trying to keep track of the baseball. Colvin never got there to even help out. I mean, this was all LeMahieu if he could get back and try to make a catch, and if he would have, it would have been a heck of a catch over the shoulder. Kadyer was shading in right center. Colvin straight away, but deep.
Brandon Crawford takes the ball. Well, that hurts. You make a good pitch. You basically get a towering pop-up that nobody could get to.
And he give up a run.
5-1 San Francisco in the 7th. Mayhew's got it. And Crawford is out. 5-1 San Francisco leading. 9 outs left on offense for the Rockies to stage a comeback. We're going to stick around for God Bless America on this Sunday. The performance by Sergeant Lance Christensen. Enjoy, everybody.
Fans, please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the Colorado National Guard's 101st Army Band, please welcome Staff Sergeant Lance Christensen.
Comcast, advertise your business locally on the network's People Watch. Go to ComcastSpotlight.com for details. The Rockies have been held to a run on 4 hits. The run came on a home run by Cargo, his 22nd, which leads the National League. Pomeranz, disappointing 2013 debut, 4 1/3. He gave up 4 runs, 7 hits. He walked 4. Never got out of the 5th inning. Josh Rutledge in the 7th will lead things off against Madison Bumgarner. And then Yorvi Torrealba will apparently pinch hit for Corpus. 8, 9, and 1.
Yeah, Josh Outman warming up in the Rockies bullpen to come in the next inning.
Rutledge takes a strike. Rut's been on twice, a walk and a single. Next pitch will be the 97th for Bumgarner.
This year for Madison Bumgarner, it's only been 1, 2, 3 starts that he's thrown less than 100 pitches in a start. The most he's thrown out there, 115 a couple of times. He's been at 111 the last 2 games.
And he just earned his 5th strikeout. So Torrealba will pinch hit. Autoglass damage, call Safelight Autoglass 303-287-5000 online at safelight.com. Think of Bumgarner and all the success the Giants have had and all of his success. He's never gotten run support. He has a .320 career ERA, but a 43-35 record. You'd think he'd be 15, 18 over 500. Maybe even more than that. 2 outs. LeMahieu's 1 for 2 and a walk. Bumgarner, a country kid from North Carolina.
I had a few scouts tell me when they went into the house to visit as the #1 pick. His mother wasn't 100% sold on the fact that he could survive in pro baseball. You know, it was the fact of being out away from the house for the very first time. He traveled limited travel on some select teams, and there's a lot of concern for the family of what he would be. And Bochy says he's one of the toughest guys on the ball club, not only mentally but physically.
Well, he has a quick 7th inning, 2 ground outs and a punch out. We'll go to the 8-5-1 Giants. Rockies have been out hit 9-4. Let's check the Coors Light freeze cam. DJ LeMahieu made a really nice play earlier in the ball game, taking a base hit from Andres Torres. That's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Josh Outman's now on for the Rockies. He's the fourth pitcher Walt Weiss has had to use. Corpus went 2 innings, gave up a run on a hit, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Bumgarner's done, 9-1-2. Hector Sanchez is going to pinch hit. So Sanchez, a backup catcher, carrying 3 catchers right now, will hit against Outman here in the 8th inning. Latch, we had a question earlier during Toyota Talk, who moves the infield and outfield around. You go over scouting reports and how you want to pitch certain guys, but there are in-game and in-moment adjustments. Latch making one right now with the center fielder Colvin. Not that you're not keeping an eye on all your outfielders, but you know, Colvin, not as much experience out there in center field, more of a corner outfielder. Promising news on Dexter Fowler, though, today. Talking to him, he got an injection. They looked at that hand again, and there was, where the bruise in his hand, there was some fluid, and they put an anti-inflammatory in there. And he said already today it felt a ton better, and he hopes to perhaps be in the lineup Tuesday at opening series against the Dodgers. He and Tyler Chatwood conversing. Pacheco can't get there. 2-2 count. Well, Dexter's been dealing with the finger issue, and so he hasn't been able to, with the right hand, grip the bat as firmly as he'd like. And this was the swing where he injured the hand. And on, pardon the pun, on one hand, George, you say, well, they're unrelated.
Right.
But they are kind of related because he couldn't take the grip he normally would because of the injury to the finger.
Yeah, Neil, you just got to see how it is tomorrow.
Strikeout by Outman on an off-speed pitch.
I'll bring up Torres. And Outman misses on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It's ball 1. Torres 1 for 4. Righty's hitting .321 against Outman. Lefty's beneath 200. Arenado throws out. Torres 2 outs. What's next is brought to you by CenturyLink. Here's a look at the series probables. So the Rockies will get the top of the rotation for the Dodgers. Kershaw and Greinke the first 2 days, and then the Duke product, Chris Capuano, will go on Thursday, the 4th of July. The Rockies will have Oswalt making his 3rd Rocky start. Tyler Chatwood has been outstanding, and Jolie Chassin, who's also in a very good place. Rockies rotation, George, coming together.
It sure is, and that's why I made all those statements a while back. Base hit the left for Abreu. Is that, you know, you look at last year, 4/5 rotation gone. You've got all those other regulars out of the lineup to Ledusky, Kadire, Gonzalez, and Helton. Everybody's back. Everybody's healthy, with the exception of obviously Tulowitzki. But more importantly, this pitching's healthy.
Base hit by Abreu, his 3rd hit of the game, and will allow Posey to hit here in the 8th. Buster a home run. Back at the third, takes ball one. He's hit 379 in the month of June. Top 5 in the league. Center field well hit, and Colvin will track it down though. So Posey skied to center field. There was a hit by Abreu. He's left on. Middle of 8. The Giants 5 and the Rockies 1. Pacheco, Gonzalez, and Michael Kadire, who's been held hitless so far. Gonzalez, Kadire. The Rockies will see a new arm. Sandy Rosario's on the hill. Who Wants Tacos fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 in a game, text the word taco to 720-720. When that does occur, Root Sports, along with Taco Bell, will donate $250 to the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation. Sandy Rosario has been back and forth between Fresno and the big leagues. When he's been in the big leagues, George, he's been effective.
And same in AAA, 278 ERA in AAA Fresno in 21 ball games. He's got 35 strikeouts. He earned a trip to the big leagues, was recalled April 29th through May 2nd, then May 21st to the 27th. And here he is again. I mean, this June 12th back, 2-0, 257 earned run average. 4 earned runs allowed and 14 innings pitched.
First pitch is ball 1 on Jordan.
Pretty good breaking ball there. First pitch offering, fastball at 92, then backed way off 79 with a soft slider on the outside corner. Most sliders will run 82 to 86 miles an hour. Power guys will get a little harder than 86, but not many.
It wasn't bad, but no swing.
That guy shouldn't be looking in the booth like that. How about it? If I do this, Drew, and he weighs back.
Yeah.
Caught you. Not sure what he's watching.
And Jordan with a line drive that won't get down.
Second ball
came on and made the catch.
Second ball he's hit hard like that today. One another one back in the third that he hit hard to right field.
So Cargo will come up with 1 out, nobody on. Cargo fouls that pitch off. In the 6th inning, first pitch from Madison Bumgarner went out. How far did it travel? 427 feet. Brought to you by AAA Colorado. With the tip of the cap to Carlos Gonzalez. Only Rockies run today. Just 4 hits against Bumgarner. One and two. Talking about 2-strike hitting this year for the Rockies. Cargo's below 200. He does have 7 home runs, which is the most on the club. The guy with the highest batting average with 2 strikes is in the on-deck circle. Kadire, a .310 average coming in with any count that includes 2 strikes. Got a good arm, 94 on that fastball by Rosario.
Pretty good stuff there. Able to locate that slider front and back. Difficult to be able to handle from the left side of the plate. So you can see outside, set up well in that outside corner, backdoored it in a perfect position.
Well, it could very well come down to this at bat, seeing as there's 2 outs in the 8th inning. The Rockies down 5-1. Kadire 0 for 3 during his 26-game hitting streak. He has not had to save the streak with a hit in his last at bat. He'll have to do it, it looks like, today. Outside, ball 1.
Pretty tough customer, too. What you like about Michael Kadire, too, it's not about the streak, it's about winning baseball games now. If Sandoval's playing 40 feet behind third base, you could lay a bunt down and keep your streak alive. He's up swinging the bat.
2-1. Kadire has seen Rosario only 1 time. 0 for 1. Up the middle and on through, base hit. Make it 27 straight. And most of the crowd standing and acknowledging Michael Kadire.
Well, not much to cheer about today, but this is one thing to cheer about, obviously. Thought about hitting with some pressure. That's a personal goal to keep that thing going. And he did it. Pitcher may have hurt the hand too. I thought he did. He tried to barehand the thing. Mike Shaw Subaru Supermoto. This sinker going to ride right to the inside. Hands close to the body. Good part of the bat up. Catches the hand, or the thumb appeared to be, of Rosario, and then back up the middle beyond the reach of Crawford. A base hit.
That's also 46 straight games that he's reached. Now that's something else. Talking to Walt Weiss earlier today about the hitting streak, and with all due respect to the accomplishment of Joe DiMaggio, which is just ridiculous, 56 straight games. To do anything close to approaching that today, I think is virtually impossible, George, because back in the 20s and 30s, whoever started was going to finish, and he may not have had nearly the same stuff the third, fourth, maybe fifth time that you faced a guy. There wasn't some guy coming out of the bullpen fresh throwing 96.
There wasn't the closers back then throwing 100?
A setup guy with none of that.
No left-right matchups?
Which makes putting a streak
eight-man
like
pitching staffs?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes it very improbable. That is an extraordinary run. There are two teams until now, just one, that had never had a player have a 26-game hitting streak. Kadire takes off. This ball's drilled deep right center field. Pats back, can't catch it. Kadire will score. Rosario to second, and it's 5-2. That was a rocket off the bat of Willeen Rosario.
RBIs now for Rosario. Dave Righetti with a visit out to the mound. Again, remember the thumb hit on that ball right back up the middle. It's more about, are you all right? Let me see the thumb area. Exactly what he's checking on. Mike Shaw, Subaru Super Bowl. Slider away from it. And he just took it to the opposite field. Good job of hitting by Rosario out of the reach of Pence. A late jump right at the very end, hit off the glove. And then Pence going to make a run back. I mean, he just missed it by inches. Rosario into second base. Good for Michael Kadire. The left-hander Lopez getting loose down in the bullpen now for the Giants.
That's a strike on Arenado.
Pretty good pitch there, outside corner. Got after it just a little bit. Rosario had been to the big leagues with the Florida Marlins. Been to Miami 3 different years, 010, 11, and 12.
Stays a 2-2 count. Get a base hit here, it gets real interesting.
Yeah, that's why they have their left-hander up down in the bullpen. Lopez, the guy that works the eighth an awful lot with Colvin and the on deck circle. The Rockies have Fowler, can't swing it, and Herrera from the right side, of course, Helton. So
it's as much for Todd Helton. Bruce Bochy's thinking. Two. Good job by Arenado. 2-2.
Real close to firing at that pitch. Didn't do it.
Good numbers for 2 outs. Runners in scoring position. Willeen Rosario out at second. He doubled in Michael Kadire, who kept his hitting streak alive in his 4th at bat with a base hit up the middle. Runs full.
A lot of times the old saying, if it's good enough 2-2, it's good enough 3-2. If Arenado does get on, Colvin is 0 for 3 versus Lopez. Helton 1 for 9.
With a fastball. Rockies get a run. Michael Kadire extends his streak to 27 games. This is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By StubHub. Fans, next time you plan a trip to Coors Field, head to StubHub, where you can find great seats and earn great rewards. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Good crowd at Coors Field, but the Giants have done most of the entertaining. They're up 5-2. Michael Kadire a few moments ago did extend his hitting streak to 27 games as we check in with Jenny Kavnar for a post-game preview. Jenny.
Hey, Drew, how about the Cuddy Badger? He just keeps rolling. Coming up in the Toyota post-game show, we got plenty to talk about. We'll start with not how you drew it up. For Drew Pomeranz, it wasn't the outing he had expected for his debut. Just 4 1/3 innings for him. He walked 4, gave up 2 home runs. We'll break that down. Plus, catch 22, we're talking about Cargo's 22nd home run of the season. It now leads the National League solely on top with 22 home runs, but it didn't really help out the Colorado Rockies much. We'll have all that and much more. Plus, we'll get you inside the clubhouse. It's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show.
All right, Jenny, we appreciate it. Hunter Pence against Josh Outman. And he gets one inside, ball 1. Outman pitched a scoreless 8th inning. Lopez got the final 2 outs of the 5th inning for Pomeranz. Corpus 2 innings, and Outman trying to produce the same. Pence 2-run home run earlier, and the former Texas Arlington star takes high ball ball 3, and it's 3-0. Giants trying to get bed several streaks. They've lost 6 in a row. They've lost 7 in a row out on the road. They've lost 5 in a row here at Coors Field.
Bochy very upset with his offense the last 2 nights. He got an excellent pitching job from Matt Cain yesterday. They're not able to push across to anything.
Single by Pence. Today's Save of the Week is brought to you by the Regions Touchstone Energy Cooperative, your local consumer-owned electric cooperative delivering reliable power, energy-saving tools, and more. Visit togetherwesave.com. Rex Brothers in Washington last Sunday. That was Ford's save. Rockies took the final 2 ball games of that 4-game set in Washington. It would be the only 2 games they won on that road trip. 2-1 so far in this homestand, but they're in jeopardy of falling to 2-2. Sandoval, a single and a walk. Also a couple of strikeouts.
Sandoval not chasing there on that fastball.
One and 2 on Pablo.
Real reluctant to try to turn on the inside fastball. And the only reason I say that is because of that front foot area, not someone, just gets a little touchy there and weak in areas.
And he strikes out for the 3rd time in the game. That doesn't look like Sandoval's A swing.
Now, slider there that he went after too.
2nd strikeout for Outman. It'll bring up Juan Perez.
Watch the slider back foot dive in there, and that front foot just not a lot of control of it to swing the bat. Sandoval a little bit trouble. Well, it come out slider, but it showed split. Haven't known Outman to throw a split, but that's kind of becoming a popular pitch down in the bullpen.
Perez 0 for 2. He's walked twice. Taste of the big leagues this year for Perez. 26-year-old from Santiago in the Dominican Republic. But he spent his formative years in the Bronx. He went to DeWitt Clinton high school that's been around the Bronx forever. He was undrafted out of high school and then went to Dominican to play, and then ended up in at Western Oklahoma Junior College, George, in your state.
Yep, 13th round selection out of there. There's an awful lot of Latin American players. Simmons, the young man from Carousel, starting shortstop for the Atlanta Braves, also out of Western Community College. His coach out there has a great job of the ball will shoot through the outfield too. Pence playing the only way he knows how, all out to third. Coach does a good job there of recruiting Latin American players. Get him to come over and play some baseball.
Perez may be his shining star. He hit 37 home runs, drove in 102, and batted .465 one year at Western Oklahoma. Those numbers are ridiculous. Guillermo Quiros at the plate, first and third, one out. He got a nickname talking about Perez, George, when he was playing at Western Oklahoma by scouts. You know what they called him?
I'm waiting.
The mystery guy, because nobody had any reports on him. Like, where's this guy from?
Well, you know, you played up on the East Coast. How many spring games did you play? 11 or 12?
Some in the snow.
If you didn't have the money to be able to afford to play on a traveling team or get out and play in American Legion baseball, you didn't play summer baseball. Pretty simple. That's where the word of mouth starts to travel. You get that chance there with Western Junior College, a lot like Seminoles, another school there in Eastern that has very good junior college programs.
Ground ball, and Arenado, nice pickup on the first double play. LeMahieu, a good turn. So we'll go to the ninth inning. The Rockies trailing 5-2. The Giants trying to snap a 6-game losing streak. The Rockies obviously were looking for the sweep. They have work to do against Sergio Romo. Want the latest updates from Root Sports? Text alert to 720-720 and receive text message updates all season long. Sergio Romo's into the ball game. He's got 18 saves.
18 out of 21 opportunities this year. You see a 240 earned run average. The whip very good. The walk strikeouts outstanding in this season of 30 innings pitched, 25 hits, 34 strikeouts. The opposition 217. Also a note for Romo, and kind of an interesting one. The 18 saves, 6th in the National League. Retiring, the ability to retire first batters faced is a big number for me for closers. He's done that 77% of the time, and a National League average right around 70, so he's ahead of that.
Well, with Romo, you know you're going to get some form of the slider. He'll throw a cutter every once in a while also, but he throws either slider or cutter 56% of the time.
Well, that's his out pitch. That's the one he's going to stay with, too. Left-handers, when he has a 3-run lead or more, you'll see a lot of sinkers. His sinker's 87, 88, 89 miles an hour. You see Todd Helton with a bat. He'll hit in the pitcher's slot here shortly.
One and one on Colvin. Tyler 0 for 3.
Well, you look at all those numbers, ERA and relief among active people. It's pretty amazing. Mariano Rivera, Romo right behind him.
And this ball is playable for Pence. He got it in the middle of the bat. And that's the first out in the 9th inning. I'll bring up Rutledge. Helton in the on-deck circle. Final off day for the Rockies prior to the All-Star break will come tomorrow. They'll play 3 with LA, and then it's out west. Arizona, LA, and San Diego. San Diego and LA. San Diego will come in front of the Dodgers series. Rockies will play 4 out in Tinseltown. And after the All-Star break, they'll welcome in the Cubs. Rutledge hits it high in the air down the right field line near the corner. Pence wasn't able to make the catch, but it's a foul ball.
I know Bruce Bochy's sitting there thinking, don't run into the wall and get hurt. Between himself and Buster Posey, they're kind of the 2 offensive threats right now. That ball ricocheted right off the wall. Pence doesn't know how to play any other way, though. Give it a good effort.
It's an easy play at second for Brady. 2 outs. Crowd of 41,845 this afternoon. Watching the Rockies and Giants. Helton will try to keep it going. Todd got the start yesterday and had that 2-out walk in the 9th inning. He was replaced by Rutledge, who stole second, and then Arenado's brought him home the game winner on a base hit up the middle against Jeremy Affeldt. 2-0. LeMahieu on deck. Sergio Romo, who went to Mesa State at the time. Colorado Mesa now. So he knows the Centennial State well. 2-1 on top. 2 outs, nobody on the 9th. And that's a strike. That fastball shows up, it's like a shocker. You can see Todd's reaction.
Yeah, never throws it. But like I said, when he does have a lead like this, he'll be more into the center of the plate than he will be normally. This ball appeared to run off the plate right at the very end, but enough to catch the corner and get the call.
And Helton drives this to right. That's going to touch down and roll to the wall. And Helton's going to have yet another double. His 576th. 19th on the all-time doubles list.
Yeah, that 576 double is 3 shy of tying Wade Boggs, you'll see that. And excuse me, yeah, tying Wade Boggs. Up, throwing that slider, worked the arm under, and worked it right into the path of Todd Helton. Right on the sweet spot. Boy, what a vintage swing by Todd. Standing right on the pitch, driving it down into this right field corner. Up against the wall, pencil plate, and Helton at second. A chance to get another one on the board with a base hit.
Inside corner, a strike on LeMahieu. 1 for 3 and a walk for DJ. Had a fair amount of time in that leadoff spot in the absence of Fowler.
And done a very good job with it, too.
Just a baseball player. Does everything pretty well. 1-1. DJ for a time at LSU would hit leadoff. Who helped just tied on the all-time hits list at 102. Jeff Kent.
Yeah, that's why I always,
61.
when I sit and listen to this, look at that 102nd all-time on the list of hits in the history of baseball. A lot of guys on the other side of him that are in the Hall of Fame with not as many hits.
And DJ got out front, and this should end the game. Abreu makes the catch. And the Giants end their 6-game slide, and they prevent the Rockies from the sweep. 5-2 is the final. Romo earns his 19th save. The Rockies were limited to 7 hits in the game. So the Giants win 5-2. They improved to 39 and 42. The Rockies slip under 500 once again. They're 41 and 42. Today's Jimmy John's Freaky Fast Delivery. The game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. Well, Madison Bumgarner worked 7 innings, and he was pretty typical of the work we've seen him do in the past, save his last outing at Coors Field when the Rockies were able to get after him. But not today. Just 4 hits and a run allowed. He did walk 3. He came back with 5 strikeouts. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. So the Rockies fall 5-2. To center field we go, and Jenny Kavnar on the Toyota postgame set.
Thanks, Drew. You know, the Rockies couldn't complete a sweep Sunday, which is a bummer, but the good news is they still take a series from the Giants. We have plenty to break down coming up on the Toyota postgame show. These guys